Now we all know.
Okay, great. We are calling the meeting to order.
6:03 p.m.
6:03 p.m. Start with roll call.
Starting with roll call. Amanda Houston,
Here.
Julia Kitely,
Here.
Tim O'Leary,
Here.
Cherie Adkins,
Here.
Jessica Hopkins Hubbard.
Here.
The student commissioner position is open, and I'm library director Corey Burkle.
Great. We are moving on to the consent calendar.
I move we accept the consent calendar.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
And that was Julia Kitely making the motion and Cherie Adkins seconding.
Do you have any public comments?
We have no public comments tonight.
Okay, moving on to board comments. Current library narratives.
I'm going to share screen.
I'm tickled that Ruth's little tattoos have been called out by several little small people.
Oh my goodness. I
That's just adorable.
love that so much.
Oh my, yes.
I actually put it on
Love
here as you could see a big
Yes.
picture of it.
It's so cute.
I really loved how when it was dressed like a librarian day, some people went for like the classic hair in a bun, and then you've got the young kids who are like finger tattoos.
Yeah.
Yes, you had both ends of that.
Uh-huh. It was.
Because I was in on that. I came in that.
Oh, you did,
to
yes.
Do something. Yes, it was a hoot to see how people attached that.
Great. Let's move on to the library foundation report.
Library Foundation report. We did meet, and it was a short meeting. And I talked about the summer reading program and library programs that are funded by the Library Foundation. So I just did my report to them, and that was about it.
Great. And the library director's report.
Library director's report. All right. So, I don't know why. There we go. Okay, so here is my list from last meeting of all the things we were going to get done. And you will notice the only two things that did not get done were out of my control. So Lewis Audio Video unfortunately could not install the new projector because it got lost in the mail, and then it got found, but it never arrived. So it was still actually lost in the mail, and they just had to reorder it from China. So it took about 3 months to get to the US the first time. So I'm really bummed about that. So it will be here at some point. The new shelving panels, the panels have arrived, but they're still waiting on the brackets. And those, I believe, are also coming from China. And so there's some, I don't think those are lost in the mail, but they're just very slow in coming right now. So those are still to come, but also we don't need to, we'll be able to do those projects on a Monday or a Friday morning. So there's no reason for the library to need to be closed for those ones. So that will be helpful. Staff worked so hard, and some volunteers like Julia. We worked so hard. We had a good time though. Bobby came up with Spirit Week for the staff, and so we had a little bit of fun every day, along with painting and moving books and doing all of the other things too. So
It's
So it's a good week.
on social media.
Oh, good.
Yeah, there was.
We were really intentional about, yes, we are closed. Yes, we are still working. We are not just having a holiday. So, yeah. Any questions about, or I should give you an update on the outside here. It's going really well. So the remainder of the bricks on the sidewalk were taken out yesterday, I guess. So it looks like there's something that needs to cure for a little while before they can do the concrete portion. So I'm hoping that will get done tomorrow. The drop box has been closed off to the public, I think for 2 different days because of the concrete trucks. So and we did warn people ahead of time that that was going to happen a few times. I don't really have a warning before it happens. But for the most part, people have been excited to come in the north doors upstairs. We have had several people be confused about where they are in the library. We've seen several people get in the elevator and press the button for number 2. And when it doesn't, when they're standing there and the door isn't closing, we'll be like, "Can I help you? Are you looking for your holds?" And one person said, "No, I'm going upstairs." And I was like, "Okay, you're upstairs."
Yeah.
So
You've arrived.
you've arrived. You're here. You're already here. But for people who don't read nonfiction or look at the Spanish books, they don't really go down to that
Yeah.
side of the library. So it really throws people off coming in on the second floor. So I've only had one person who was she was kind of angry today. I actually found her trying to get in my back door, and so I let her in and then explained where the entrance was, and I think she was just very frustrated trying to get in. We have found that several people have gone out the Carnegie door instead of the north doors. So working on that as well. So there's just been a couple of little things, but nothing that's really a big deal, and everything's going well. I think the part that might actually take the longest is the custom fabrication of the railings outside. And of course, we can't open the stairs to the public until the railings are on there and until the railings also pass inspection. So even though it looks like we're almost done, we could still be a couple of weeks out. So we'll just have to see how things go. But I'm very pleased with how it looks. It's going to be great. The grading in the ramp is much better. So I think that will be much easier for people as well. I think when you're trying to get a stroller down there, you won't feel like you're going to just take off and go, or a book cart that's really heavy.
Yeah, no kidding.
So
I will say
been good.
the entrance over here does feel really like an entrance.
It does, doesn't it?
It's
Yeah.
really nice.
It is very nice. Our couriers that bring in our books, oh, they love it. Every time I see one, they're like, we really like this entrance right here. We really like this. Like, I know it's just temporary. Don't get used to it.
Well, that's because the
The
at a
ramp
great
is
level
so
for
nice
push
for
to
them.
park them.
Yeah. So it's going well. Busy, but good.
And do you see your numbers being affected at all because of the entrance? Like not being able to keep, I don't know, is there a
So you
Counting.
will see that our numbers for September with being closed for a week will be quite different.
Yeah.
So that will definitely make an impact. I don't know. I haven't pulled the numbers yet to see how our checkout statistics are. It feels it's interesting because since we have that staff desk at the north doors, we are super busy up there because we're also doing circulation as well as reference and helping people with the computers, while circulation down here is much quieter because they don't have people coming in the doors. They're not greeting people as they come in, all of that too. So that's been a little bit of an adjustment too, but it doesn't feel like we don't have people coming in. So, but we'll see what the stats say next month.
Okay, moving on to the library friends report.
Library Friends, I was not at their meeting last week, but I do know that they were able to sell a set of books online for $300, which they were very excited
Whoa,
about
yeah,
because
that's great.
being closed for a week also will really impact the amount of money that they bring in. So they're hoping that balances things out a little bit too. So yeah, so we really
Cool.
appreciate donations. You never know what we're going to get.
Yeah,
So
no kidding. All right, moving on to unfinished business, updates on the strategic plan.
all right. So I had pictures to show you. Look at these pictures.
Yeah.
So this picture I love. this was Dressed Like a Librarian Day.
That's
So
great.
fun.
And it was, I think it's just such a cute picture of the staff. This is the orange carpet that we were so excited to get rid of. So gross. It's like from 1985. And then just some pictures that you might have seen online already as well. All right, so for strategic plan, it's I just want to give a reminder to the Library Advisory Board that our strategic plan goes through 2026, which means next year we'll need to start working on the strategic plan. There's a possibility of hiring a consulting firm, or if there's somebody local that people know of. I don't really know anyone who does this kind of work. Actually, I might know somebody who does this kind of work. But I just thought I would put it out to the library board too, to see if there's people you're familiar with who are used to facilitating strategic plans. That's something to be thinking of as well. The last one we did was during COVID, so it looked very different than previous strategic plans. Will did it. He did a great job with it. And Tim, you were here. I don't know that anybody else was who's still here.
No, we did a survey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah, that worked pretty good.
answering survey questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you might not be aware, one of the suggestions was relocate the elevator.
I do remember.
Bill and I had a good time with that one. I mean, there was some weird stuff.
Very interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
inexpensive as well,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you know.
Very, very, very expensive. I can't even wrap my brain around that one.
But we did get good feedback as
Yeah.
far as, you know, what to focus on and everything.
Yeah. I think it's been a really good strategic plan to work with. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think for us, the easier part is getting feedback from our current library patrons, and the hard part is getting feedback from the people that we don't see at the library, right? And trying to get buy-in or perspective from people who are not using the library to find out how we can change that too. So
Yeah, how to reach them to do
yeah.
something like that if they're not already.
when you're
on
not
board.
reaching them, they're not on your email lists,
They're not interested in the library.
they're not maybe interested in the library,
In some
or
cases they are, but yeah.
or some we had somebody who donated books a few weeks ago, and she called us to donate because somebody had told her we would take books, but she didn't know where we were, and she'd lived in Newburgh for 10 years or so I know, but there are people that were just not on their radar, even readers, which is really interesting to me.
Yeah, and I
Mhm.
think if they knew what was available outside of the building as far
Right.
as what offerings there are, it would make them think twice.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think so too, but
Sandwich
So-
board with volunteers, come to the library.
somebody like twirling something
Oh my
goodness,
on the
yes.
side.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
during COVID, I did put on my blow up unicorn costume and wave to people because I was
You're
sad.
crazy. Yes, you lost your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, there's nobody in the library, and I'm so sad. I'm just gonna put my costume on.
It's good to know you have that. Just
Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah.
do.
Again,
Yes.
so.
It's been used often, actually. Yeah.
Cool.
I kind of like the
Was a good
library is
investment.
open little sign on the corner. I
I do
actually
Yeah.
think
too.
that's kind of,
Yeah.
kind of nice.
Yeah,
It is
Yeah.
eye-catching. I love that.
it is good.
Because we could do something like the wineries do
Yeah.
downtown.
Yeah,
and-
that's
and
true.
Point here and change it up now and again. I don't know.
Yeah.
It could be seasonal. I don't care. Bring your Christmas tree or some sort of. That's
Well, it's something
That's
to
a great
really attract the
idea.
Kids too, because
Yeah.
they then tell all their parents.
Well, I was gonna say, when you get ready for the survey, that would be a really easy thing to pop into school newsletters, because we have an
Mhm.
electronic one that goes out every week, and
Hmm.
we just put it in there. Like, the teachers would talk about it, and
Hmm.
you might get some grandparents or families that maybe don't go to the library because they're busy, but they care. They're just not in a season where
Yeah.
they're coming in.
We do have our library newsletter too. So if Jessica can send a link if my Jessica at the library can send a link to the school district, that would be a good thing to get in the newsletter too.
And most of our principals, at least at the elementary schools, are very pro library.
Oh, yeah.
So I think he would mention that at high meeting.
Sloan actually was telling her new kindergarten friends that you can check out books at this library because she's not allowed to check out. She came home and she said, I have to be in
kindergartners.
second grade
What?
to check out books at the school library. And she was like so hurt.
Well,
Second grade.
That's really
oh,
strange.
She can check it. She can check it out and bring it to her desk,
But not.
but she can't bring it home until the second grade. Is what
That
she
is very
So
interesting.
she could tell. She'll tell everybody. You can go to the Newburgh Library and
She's
check
like,
it
"Oh, I can take it home."
Take it
Oh, I
home.
like that's what we need. We will start our kindergarten visits usually the beginning of October. So it is
Big
it is
celebration.
so
Yeah, big
fun,
slow. Yeah,
right?
slow
Yeah,
hotel.
You're like,
Oh,
see, I
okay.
told you guys.
I love it.
And you have the outfit for it.
Well, and I do. That one would
Yeah.
be very hard to
Oh, you'll figure it out.
Keep 'em
pretty
focused.
much if
You know
yeah.
what? I have to say, that might not be helpful with any of the sweetest group, but that would be very distracting.
It is so distracting.
Bring your librarian outfit.
Right.
You know?
Well, it's really fun when we do kindergarten visits, which I don't usually get to do, but I get to fill in sometimes for people. And it's really fun to see our regulars who just, they know everything about the library, and it's really great. One of the first times that I did a kindergarten visit, I walked into a classroom and I was a little bit early, and one of the teachers, Christy Smith, who just retired, she's a neat person. She was doing a little lesson on how to open a book with her kindergartners. And I was a little bit shocked. And I watched one of my friend's kids, his mom is a librarian friend of mine. And I knew that he was already reading Magic Treehouse books, short chapter books, and he's 5. And he's looking at her like, what? What are you talking about? But then I watched the kid right next to him who literally didn't know how to open a book. So, you've got, and with kids starting kindergarten, you have this huge variation in what, yeah. Yeah. So through our library foundation, we're able to give a free book to every kindergartner in the Newburgh Dundee School District. So it's a program that's been going on before I got here 25 years ago. So it's really great. And it lets us get into the classrooms, make that connection with the students as well as the teachers. We do a little story time. We've learned to say, do you have any questions for me about the library, things about the library that you would like to know? You have to be so specific. And then you'll still get some very, and then we've learned how to bring it back, and
How
it's
old
really
are
fun.
you? Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So many questions. So many questions.
For my 2 cents, I'd say I don't think you need a consulting firm, but you could base it off of a survey.
I think for that, I would rather that decision was made by this group, by a small group, kind of just to see the direction you all want to go with it.
You said Will
Yeah.
made this one.
Yes.
Okay.
Will, and he had done a strategic plan before, and it was during COVID. So he felt comfortable in doing that, and I thought he did a great job.
Are you feeling like that? Is that something that Will was maybe more?
So he had experience.
Yeah.
I do not have experience doing that. But I could also do some research on it and see if that's a possibility too. I mean, it's something that I could do. I don't know if I'm the best person right now to do it. So
So I have quite a bit of experience facilitating strategic planning. for nonprofit boards.
Well, that sounds relevant.
Yes.
The question I have
Mm.
before I stating that I have the experience in offering it or not, the
True.
question I have is like how much community input are we
Mhm.
seeking? If it's a survey, that's one thing. If it's
Mhm.
like community listening sessions and focus groups and
Mm-hmm.
interviewing staff and like
Mhm.
how involved
Yeah.
is
Mhm.
that like stakeholder engagement part, because I
Mhm.
couldn't do that.
Mhm. Yeah.
But if it was
Fine, yeah.
simple, or
Mhm.
I would be happy to if that was something you all were
Like the
interested in.
nuts and bolts part of
Yeah.
it,
Right.
with
Some of,
somebody giving you the data and then.
Yeah.
yeah.
just
And
doing
that-
Because some of this is like fixing
Mhm.
things, right? And then probably there are other parts that are more.
You could split it up too, and then, like one person does a specific portion and then somebody else might have a flair for something else.
Mhm. Well, and as far as facilitating discussion, that is definitely something I would feel comfortable with as well. I would have somebody else facilitate the discussion with the staff. But, so we could talk
And
about
I think
that
you
too.
could come up with a survey for staff and make it where nobody has to put their name on it if they don't want to, and they
Yeah.
can just get submitted, what would you like changed? What do you think works?
Mhm.
And that type of stuff. We did a suggestion box at work and I've only gotten one back. so
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah, but I do think that staff are more willing to participate here when it's something like a strategic plan too. So, yeah.
And I realize that's for that we'll start working on that next year because the
Mhm.
plan goes through the end of the year, but
Right.
possibly our December meeting or our January meeting would be a
Mhm.
good time to actually just spend the whole meeting talking about
Mm-hmm.
what's in it now.
Because
What
it
we
goes
like,
fast.
it really, and
Yeah.
it's like, are these areas that we still want to focus on or not? The ones that we like, we
Mm-hmm.
modify to accommodate the
Mhm.
next 7 years. And the ones that we
Mhm.
think, well, we've completely completed this and I don't see any reason why, other than like a bullet that says, keep being nice to patrons or something.
Right.
Is on there, but yeah, and that we could look at it that way and then determine how much potential consultant people we need, or can we handle it
Mhm.
across the board, or with anybody else we can find.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's a consultant to put the package together after the draft,
Yeah.
something like that.
So the other thing we have at the city is the talents of Emily Salzberg, who also put together this current one too. So Will gave her, here's everything that we've gone through, and she turned it into the really nice document that it is too.
Oh, okay.
So we do also, that is a resource available to us at the city as well. So that's also very nice. I wrote down putting January as a strategic plan, like a more of a dig in. We'll have our new board members, if we have new board members. I think, were you planning on, I can't remember if you're,
I filled in one and then I did a full one. so
okay,
I'm
so you're stepping
pretty
down.
much-
So then January we'll have the new person in. And I
There's a good time
don't know
for
what
that.
your feeling is yet on that too. But we'll also have a strategic or a student commissioner, hopefully.
Mhm.
So we'll be able to start those things.
Great.
Yeah. All right. That's all I had for strategic plan, was just getting it on our radar.
Sorry, you made a comment to Cherie just now. Are you?
When do I turn off? You guys still have.
So December is the end of your.
I've interviewed twice. So.
Yeah.
So the first time I think you were
I know.
filling in for Rebecca Ratcliffe.
That's right. It was a year left of that one.
Yeah. So
We have it at the front of our
so you
binders.
have the potential, and I'm sorry I didn't bring mine. So this is not the updated
That's
one.
not the updated
This
one.
is I'm sorry. I need to get you an updated one. So your term ends December of 2025, but you can, if you,
But
you
that
can
was-
apply for another year.
Yeah, because that makes sense. I was filling somebody else's term, and then I can do two.
But I
Yeah.
interviewed twice too. Maybe were you a year different? No, because we interviewed at the same time.
but it
Sherry and I
doesn't,
interviewed at the
but
same
it
time.
doesn't matter. I believe you are both filling in for somebody. So what it
Oh, I
matters
see.
when that person's term was
I see.
expiring.
Hers ended a
Right.
year. Okay.
And you already volunteered for the project. So you're
I
kinda
know, I
committed.
just don't want to interview again is all.
I know.
Those questions are so hard. I'll just
Well-
come with a new favorite book and,
No, you don't. Just kidding.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, I hope to.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, so
Right. I was about to be like.
So the other thing I'll say is that for other boards too, you can choose to have people re-interview, or you can choose to submit somebody's name again to the mayor for the board. So you don't actually have to make somebody re-interview. It's up to the board.
Great.
Whether
So
you-
if somebody wants to continue.
You can just resubmit their name. So,
Oh, how come we didn't do that before?
well, I was not aware of that, that you could do that piece. So, yeah, sorry, learning. But we will have, so Tim will be stepping off and we'll have a student commissioner.
So there
I-
actually
So we are
are
doing
two
interviews.
positions.
So there
we
are
have to
two
interview.
positions that we do need to interview for.
Great. So we are moving on to
Which
new
we are
business.
moving on to.
We are talking about the interview process. Looks like we're
So here's what I wanted
Corey was saying.
to show you. I'm gonna escape. Sorry, go back to this one. Ugh, this mouse drives me crazy. Apologies. Okay, so I go to show you. I know it's not a private connection. Just go.
Just go.
Did you
Oh,
close all the other tabs that shouldn't be open?
do I have other tabs that shouldn't be open?
Never mind.
Oh,
terrible joke.
that's not even on my
So-
radar.
Do we need to vote and adopt that policy for if we wanted to resubmit someone already on the board? Do we need to vote on that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So what I was going to show you is the gosh, why doesn't this work? The boards and commission page for the city that apparently I can't have
Can you
access
try
to
to
right
open a
now.
new window maybe? A private window?
So it's the same application for everybody.
Mm.
And then I get a notification that when somebody has applied. So that is, I don't know what's going on with that. I was having some issues a couple nights ago too. So I think there's something I need to figure out with my computer. So it's the same, and basically it's here's your name, here's where you live, because that determines whether you're eligible to apply or not, right? And then why you're interested in this board, and people can rank which boards they're interested in, and they rank them in order of their preference as well. So what the Library Advisory Board has done before is interviewed everybody who applies, which oftentimes we struggle to find enough people. In the last couple of years, we've had an abundance of fantastic people apply. So that's been really good too. So that's what I wanted to show you, was that there's an application process, but it's for everyone who's going to be on a city board or commission.
Right, we all fill out the same kind of application and then. it
Yeah.
gets shunted
And then
off to
exactly.
whoever is in
Yeah.
charge of that.
I'm okay if we still interview everybody that submits, because I don't feel like people put a whole lot of information into
agree.
that initial application, so
Yeah.
it's just really hard to know
Yeah. it's just
until
a
you
better
actually
feel,
ask
too.
them.
Mhm.
Yeah, you get a
Yes.
better feel this way.
Yeah, mean, like, if there's enough interest to get that far, that's.
Right.
Sure.
Let's talk to them.
So when will this go out, Corey? When will the,
So the link for people to apply is live.
okay,
And then what we had talked about was, and you can choose if you want to do the interviews in October or if you want to do them in November. They need to be to the mayor the proposal needs to be to the mayor by the beginning of December, because that's when he goes over and makes those appointments. And then people are appointed at one of the December city council meetings to start their term in January.
and are we saying that our board meeting evening in October would be the time that we would interview?
And that's up to you. That's up to the board to decide if you want to do October or November. I will say that the October date is problematic for two people here. So my suggestion would be moving. I think we probably need to move the date anyway. But whether or not you guys want to do the interviews at October or if you want to move them to November. So there's a school conferences on the date in October, and I know Sheree is, I believe, traveling for work as well.
So it'd be the 16th of October, skip that, 20th.
The week of the 20th is better for me personally, but if we did it in October.
So if we did the Thursday, the 23rd, would that work better for people? You're traveling that week too. What about, I am gone on the 9th. Well, we could also do, I mean, you have some options too, because you could decide to do the interviews in November instead and meet on the 23rd so that we have enough people. And
Okay.
then do the interviews in November 20th, if that's,
So moving our October board meeting to the 23rd of October and then interviewing November 20th.
mhm. That works for people. Looks like it works for people.
So we, the November 20th one, what we've done in the past is usually like we meet earlier and then we
Mhm.
for a couple of hours,
Mhm.
right? Yeah.
Are people able to come in at 5 o'clock on November 20th instead of 6 o'clock? Does that work? Okay. So 5 o'clock would be the board meeting. And then 6 o'clock would be interviews. Does that work for you?
Yeah, I might be a minute or two late, but I should be able to make
Okay. And I will have pizza for the board that night too.
it. So can we go back to October?
20.
The 23rd is problematic for me. So
Okay.
how many of us actually, the quorum means only one of us can be missing, right?
It means
Two.
two of you can be missing.
Okay. Because if it's on the 23rd, they changed my husband's infusion appointment and it doesn't start till 3 o'clock. There's no way I can be here at 6.
So we could go back to the 16th, knowing that we have two people that would already be gone. And then
so
if
Tim,
somebody-
Amanda, and I have to be here.
Yeah, and so if one of you three can't be here, then we can just plan on moving it to the 23rd,
And the other
where
two of
you
us
won't be
would-
here and then you will be gone. So then that
Yeah.
could work too. How's that?
Okay.
Okay, so we're
I'll just
back
put
to
them
the,
both- yeah, put them
mean, I won't be here on the 16th. I have to be at school.
Yes. So we're moving it back to the 16th, if that's okay with you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Let's see.
Okay, 16th at 6 p.m. 16th at 6 p.m. and the 20th at 5 p.m.
And the 23rd, the 6 p.m. is a backup.
Yes. Just in case.
So for the motion to make, I'm trying to just find the words to say it so it's clear. If we want to have a current board member,
Request that the mayor appoint them for another term.
Mhm.
How you
Mhm.
Instead of interviewing for an open position.
right? And then I think that we would still vote on it. Like we would still say current member X, vote to
Or if-
renew. I
Or
don't
if you
know.
leave it general, then for the future, there's a record.
Right. Yeah. So,
And I think you can also, I mean, if you, and maybe we haven't, maybe the library board hasn't done it this way in the past, just to leave an out for when that's not a good, when that's not a good fit any longer. But I do think when it is a good fit,
right.
the board gets to decide if you would like to, present that name to the mayor for reappointment.
So the
So-
commission language in the city has, must have the right wording that we should just possibly.
Well, then I wonder
Appropriate.
if we just vote we would vote to present the name to the city, not necessarily,
To change like the structure of how it goes.
right?
Yeah, do we?
Oh,
need to
yeah.
Does that
vote-
make sense?
Do we
Yeah.
need to
Trying to
vote
say.
to
Right.
make the decision, like of one or the other? Is that a thing we have to
You
vote on
Do not.
before? So we
So
just have
you
to
you
vote.
would just
Okay.
have to vote. I see what you're saying. So
Yeah,
you would just have to
right.
present the name, say that make a motion for the library advisory board to present the name of Sheree Atkins for
Okay.
reappointment to the mayor.
I guess my concern is if there are two positions open and we make exception isn't the right word on one, do we need some sort of agreement
Mm.
and communication that we will not interview for a position because it's currently being filled? Whereas in the past we had to interview, right? So am I
Or you just make one opening for an adult and one for a student commission.
Mm-hmm.
How does it
Yeah.
read in the open announcement that's out there? You said that. the
So,
announcement is open.
So right now it says that there are 2 positions open, or I'm sorry, there's 3 positions open, and 2 for the regular board and 1 as a student commissioner position. But when I was listening to the descriptions of how the committees are working for the city too, some people who are on other boards, the process for them is they just are renominated, which makes sense because it's an awful lot of effort for everybody to go back and interview somebody who's already, yeah,
It is unique to this board.
yeah.
yes,
That experience, I would
yeah,
say.
and not fun.
So we don't need to, so I guess what I'm trying to say is we don't need to vote on whether or not we're interviewing for the position. We just need to vote on what names we're presenting.
Yeah, so at the point that we're
Yes.
presenting names to city council and the mayor, we would say to appoint this student commissioner, this adult or this student advisory council member, this adult advisory council, and then reappoint
Right.
the
Uh-huh.
existing.
Is
right?
it fair to say
Yeah.
that we are interviewing for 2 positions?
One adult and one student.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But she said, right now it says there are 3, so 2
I don't
adult
see
and
where
1.
it says
Oh,
that.
okay.
Okay.
on any of the city.
On the, when I was pulling up the site that I can't get into right now, there's a list, when I got into it a little bit, there was a list where you pulled up the library advisory board where it said how many positions were open. Are you able to get to the site I wasn't able to get to? Great. Thank you. Okay, so.
Yeah, the spots are so good. Yeah. I still circle them, even though no one's gonna buy them from me like they did in Russell. I have to buy them.
Yeah,
I know, it's,
yeah.
Mhm. Everyone's the best.
Yeah.
I used to leave it on the back table and
Yeah.
then we would like come in from specials. Books came. I'm like, I know. Yeah, that's fun.
I do not, I must have seen it someplace else because I'm not seeing it here.
I guess my only concern is like if we are saying one thing and
Yeah, let me
making
reach
that
out.
decision, do we need to make some sort of not public, but like with public,
Correct what's out there.
Correct
and
what's
be
out
able to just be transparent about
Yeah.
how we're moving forward with one position and how one position is open, or two positions are open, the student and
One adult.
one adult.
I do think that matters
that make-
because the position I'm filling is very specifically the one that's outside of city limits.
Mhm.
So if people are applying, thinking that they're applying for that outside of city limits
There we go. Yeah,
role, right? Like,
yeah, and that would be the only
So,
way that they would be able to be on the board if that was a position open.
so let me reach out to Rachel Thomas, our city recorder, and ask her how we move forward with that. And then it's great that we're not doing interviews until November because it also gives us October to come back to that as well.
And if I have to re-interview, I will because I love you all and I love the library very much. But it'd be fantastic if we were able to do that.
Yeah.
But we didn't have to have that step, it wouldn't hurt to hear.
Are we ready to talk about questions? So, Julia, you made a recommendation for a
Question.
change,
On questions 5, on both the student and the adult.
and I could not find my notes.
That's okay.
So
I
can
brought
you
mine.
remind me? I'm so glad. Can you remind me what your
Because when
suggestion
I looked
was?
at what you posted or sent out to us, I went,
That's not what I know.
you know, that's okay too. It's your prerogative.
Well, no, it's actually not because
Oh,
it's
okay.
the board's prerogative.
Well,
So I couldn't remember the wording that you had given that the board also liked. So if you can tell me that again and the
so
board
let me
can.
give you my rationale for this first. Question 5 is written in DEI speak, which I personally have some issues with. However, just the speak part of it, not the concept. So I tried to rewrite these to sound more like Corey when she's talking about the library and it being a welcoming place for everyone. And yes, there are things that people do here that other people don't approve of. We've seen comments where people have said, oh, I love that you have all these books. I don't like all of them, but you have ones I like, so I'm happy. And you resolve, it goes on from there. So I took a couple stabs at it, and what I come up with for the adult one is please tell us how you encouraged a supportive environment for all in either a workplace or work group that you took part in, which I think is pretty ecumenical. And for the student one, because the student questions are framed just slightly differently than the adult questions, was how would you reach a decision that includes perspectives different from your own? Which I think still covers the intent of those questions, but without using words that some of us particularly may have problems So I can,
All right.
I can say those again. if you didn't-
Yes, I probably will take a look at those again.
Okay.
So let's start with the adult one.
You said how you encourage a supportive environment for all. Is that-
Yes. In the workplace or group you took part in. I can't answer the question.
I don't have any issues with that one. Changes in mine. I think you could use stronger language that encouraged a supportive environment. Like encouraged and contributed to, or,
Oh, I like that. I'm fine with that.
you know, something like action.
The other thing I had in there was advance, the other word I had used other than encourage. So I'm flexible.
And advanced. Please tell us how you encouraged and advanced a supportive work environment for all in a group you took part in.
Yeah, in a workplace or group you took part in.
A supportive environment, not a supportive work environment, right?
Correct, the supportive environment in a workplace or group. So that we're not limiting people to having done it at work.
Other thoughts?
Makes it easier for like a follow-up question too, that it's been cleaned up. But I know we ran into a couple times in the past of going sideways.
How does that question feel to other people? Do you like it as is? Do you want any changes?
Specifically number 5,
I
or just
it's
number
That was
number
the only one I had comments.
yeah, I just wrote that on number 6, so that's not very helpful, but good grief. Okay.
I do want to like state for the record that, I think diversity, equity, and inclusion are really important. And I don't want to be removing that language from the question for any reason that's like I'm not afraid to have that question in our set of questions. But I also like find myself in conversations with people frequently who don't actually haven't heard DEI as a term or haven't heard diversity and inclusion as a term. And if that is the case, I don't want for that to be like insider speak for folks that then ends up like tripping people up on a question either, right? So if there's just like plainer language that still conveys the same, like that is still expressing the same question, I'm supportive of that. But I also don't want to strip away from a question around diversity and inclusion. So, because I think it's incredibly important.
I think we're just trying to match current times in the society. But yeah, I take your point. All the others good?
Personally, I think so.
I've always found the numbering system offensive. If you go from very poor to excellent, and of course it's 5 digits, but that's me.
That's why you put 0.25.
That's why we said you can put half. Look, it even says you may score in 0.5 increments, but no smaller.
That's for your
1 to 5, what would be average? Pick a number.
3.
I don't know how long this point system has been going on, but I
That
feel like
means
the
you're
last
fair.
few times that we've done it, it's been great. Like,
It works out
yeah,
good. Yeah,
yeah,
it
it's
really
like-
shows up on the board of
yeah.
who it was.
That was Will's input on
Yeah.
there. I really like it.
That's how we scored them too.
Let's
Or at
see,
least that we were.
3 is a
Like
fair.
the
That's
staff
not
or the
average.
students?
When we interview,
Okay.
no,
Yeah.
not the students.
How do you, what's the grading system?
But I do like that idea.
Yeah, very poor, excellent, yeah.
No, I get your point on that, Tim. It's like
Said my piece, it's okay.
3.5 between fair and good would sound like average, but yeah.
I deal with average a lot.
I would like to switch questions number 1 and 7, if that's okay with you all.
Like same questions. but
Same
just
question, just flip them in different orders.
different-
Oh,
I
okay.
like that.
Because, well, and maybe you, so this is my reasoning, and maybe you will think that it's good for a different reason. My reasoning is asking somebody who's coming to a library advisory board meeting to talk about a book, I've seen puts people at ease much faster than anything else we ask them. But the time travel question is really fun, so I think it's also a fun one to end on. So.
No, I think that's really.
Okay.
As somebody who just recently did that, I think that's a nicer way to like use it.
Because the time travel question is fun, but it also
It is, but it's a little bit like,
Throws you off.
what if you
Ah.
don't like the time I picked? Like, now I've set the tone really poorly.
You're marked.
Very poor choice.
Where people are like, oh.
No, I think that makes a lot of sense.
And that would be on the student.
The student
as
one
well.
too, yeah.
So that'd be 1 to 6.
Oh, yeah, and we've got 7 questions.
Did we reach it to like question 5? Did we change it? Is that the decision that we made?
I think everybody.
I don't
weighed in.
feel like I don't feel like we had consensus on that one yet.
I'm curious if you kept the wording that you suggested, but changed supportive to inclusive. Or what is it that we're hoping that somebody will share with us? Because I supportive seems a little vague if what we're hoping for is trying to say that like everyone's included, because support doesn't look the same as to me, it doesn't look the same as including people. Like does that make sense?
Mhm.
Like I can support you, but like maybe not let your voice be heard. So I'm not including you, but I support that you're here.
Mhm.
How many would like to leave it the way it is?
Just to be
I don't
clear, I
mind.
don't vote on this, so.
I don't mind changing it or leaving it,
I as well.
but I also don't want to shy away from.
You'd be more comfortable if it stayed as it is, right? Is that-
I would, but I understand.
Yeah.
Why would make a change? But I mean, like, so the library is a place of belonging, right? So like, is there a way, is belonging?
Ooh, I
do
think
we-
belonging might be even better than
We have to
supportive.
rewrite it, because I don't. like,
Yeah, I don't think
would
I don't think we can just pop belonging in there, but yeah.
I also don't think it's talking about you're encouraging or it's talking about if you're advocating for
Mhm.
it. So
And somebody
Um,
might come in and say they aren't.
Right. Yeah, so I think that if you're advocating for something, it doesn't maybe necessarily mean that you're a part of cultivating it, and maybe you just are speaking on behalf of it or making it known that you are in support of, or I don't coming alongside of the same mission and vision of the library. But if the words diversity and inclusion are a problem, my bigger
Do we want
I'm wondering what other words could we use then that conveys diversity and inclusion.
Do we want to table it and think about it and do it next month? Are you gonna post the questions ahead of time?
So since we're not interviewing until November, there's plenty of time for us to think about this and come back and make a decision in October.
Well, taking what we just said, here's another alternative, and yes, we can sit and think about it until October, that's fine. How have you advanced an environment of belonging in a workplace or group that you took part in? As a way of possibly rewriting that.
I think belonging gets to inclusion, but it doesn't get to diversity.
Not to like totally change the subject, but I don't think that we I think it might be fun to not give out the questions.
Oh.
That's just me.
What happened in your day today?
I mean, it could be fun
I
to
don't
not
think
give
that's
out.
fun for-
I know, but it could be.
I mean, I would be fine until like, even though I think the time travel question is so fun, just for me personally, that would really like throw me off.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason I'm worried about that is our principal always throws in this really great question about books, but it's so fun and different than the thing that all these lovely teachers have prepared for,
Sure.
that then they can't remember the name of this book that maybe they would use. And for like 3 of our candidates this time, it derailed the next set of questions for them because they were so worried that they didn't answer that question the way they would have if they would have had time to think about it.
You give the questions beforehand too. No.
No, so like it was like it was a surprise. And so then when they were like, what's my favorite book that I've read recently and how would I use it in the classroom? They're like,
Gotcha.
But
so then just hard to get back on track. And, yeah.
but the reason
Although I guess if you're ending with it, then it doesn't matter because it's not
Yeah.
going to throw them
Mhm.
off for the rest of their questions. So maybe I just took that for next time.
Well, the reason we had decided to give people questions ahead of time was that our interviews are a public meeting. So you have a disadvantage if you're going first and you don't get the questions ahead of time, because then otherwise you are allowed, it's a public meeting. So other candidates are allowed to be sitting in the room
Oh, I see. what you're
hearing
saying.
the
Then I have to be
questions,
thinking about
and then
that.
they would have more time to think about that.
But we didn't do that this last round, right? You came in individually, right?
But that was their
But
choice.
you could.
Yeah. So it's always their
Like, if I had
choice.
other things that I was doing that day, I could have sat here the whole time.
Yeah,
if I
there have been
wanted
times
to.
when that.
That's right.
when-
That's right.
And it's always been a choice as to whether people, because it's a public meeting, so we can't, I can't tell anybody that they can't come in. But it is also a little awkward. So a lot of people prefer to stay outside until it's their turn.
I think like people who love the library, who have spent their whole lives coming to the library, like them being a really good like extemporaneous speaker isn't a requirement for them to like be here and bring that passion for the library to the board. And I think we had great examples of that with the student commissioner interviews when Katie came onto the board of just like, they were terrified. They were terrified.
Mhm.
And so anything, like, I just remember because I was sitting closest to them as they were interviewing, like having that grounding document that they had
Mhm.
prepared helped them like come back. So
Okay.
it would break my heart if you had like student, you know.
Oh, I
students
know.
Okay, well,
interviewing
maybe
and
the
then,
Yes.
students get them.
So.
And I would say,
Well, I'm
Even though
curious
we
why
let
you want to
people-
surprise people.
I know I don't want to surprise people. I
Had a
think,
bad day.
I think I had to meet with Will today. No, I'm just kidding. I just maybe it's because we've done this now, like, and
A lot.
and it's like, okay, I a little bit want to hear the raw, the like, really, how do you feel off the bat, or like, what do you think off the
Yeah.
bat, and
but I think
And-
the problem with having a public meeting is the only person disadvantaged by that is the first interview.
Yeah, because everybody else can start reading facial expressions and going, oh, that was a good answer.
Taking
I'm gonna
notes.
use it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's different when
That's
you're
very
interviewing for,
strategic.
it's different when you're interviewing for a different position where people, it's not public.
Yeah, it's very
But
awkward.
But even when you've prepared your questions or prepared your answers, that still is available. Like, their answers are
Oh,
still
yeah.
available. And
Yeah. And I would say, based on the interviews we had last time, everybody got to see the questions ahead of time. Several people, in my mind, missed the point.
Right.
Yes.
They just missed the mark.
Still, right.
And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well, you all had the opportunity to read them ahead
Right.
of time, so, okay, but, yeah.
But is there, I mean, I hear what you're saying too. Is there something else that we can do? Like, we provide 6 questions, but not, like, is there something where we do have some? Because you're just trying to get like, who are they in an authentic, just like in the moment way?
Contemporaneous
Right.
moment.
Like,
Well, yeah, I
versus,
mean,
like,
and
I've
to be
prepped
honest,
and-
what job interview have I gone to and known the questions beforehand?
None.
Zero, none.
No.
None in a real professional environment. So if I think about it like that, it's a little bit.
But in a professional environment,
It wouldn't be a
you'd
public
never
meeting.
do a public meeting.
I have an idea.
Until possibly the end.
Have you guys ever seen the British show Taskmaster?
Mm-mm. No, but
No?
No, but I love where this is going.
Well, you can find it. You can find it on YouTube. Please do watch it because I think you might be. You just. I'm just going to give you an assignment of you just have to watch the current season. There's
What whole season?
there's like no. I'm sorry. Watch
I'm
an
sorry,
episode
what?
from the current season.
I don't know what I'm talking
That would be a lot of
Yeah.
task of you.
Is
Love
Task
TV.
his first name?
People are writing
I
this down.
believe
Okay,
it's
task.
all together.
What's it about?
It is there. They bring together 6 comedians, and one of them is American for the first time in like many seasons, and they give them all the same task to do, and then they get graded on how they do the task. And it's really entertaining because people's brains work very differently, and you really get to see, sometimes people are super thrown by something, and sometimes people come up with a solution that you never would have thought of. So it's highly entertaining. Not great for little kids because there's also some swearing, I think.
Yeah, it's
So
British, right?
yeah, it's British. So,
Yeah, we're gonna watch that with the
so I'm
kids.
not saying for the
Yeah, that's good. Thank
little
you
ones.
for that. Yeah.
but
I'll turn it on.
but anyway, but there also could be something.
It was just a fun idea, but if you don't think it's a good idea, that's fine too. But
No, I like that.
Yeah.
Like, I like the intent behind what you're trying to get to.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, go watch an episode and see if there's some. Yeah.
I do too, because I very recently sat in on interviews, and it is really interesting to see people's like passion come through
Yeah.
about something
Mhm.
specific. But from the anxious part of me, I'm always
totally. Yeah.
if we can do anything to like lower that
If I would have, if I had
Yeah.
to interview again this round, I would never suggest this, right? I would just,
So it's a little bit evil.
right? So,
We talked about for library staff, when we're doing interviews, we talked about giving people the questions when they sit down
That's
so
what we
that,
do, so that you don't have to like try
yeah,
to remember what they've said, and
Okay.
that helps a ton.
yes.
okay.
We ran into a situation where we had someone who was so anxious that she just literally couldn't answer one of the questions. And so afterward we were like, okay, how could we do this? Because this isn't the intent, is to
Yeah.
make somebody so anxious that they
Yeah.
You're
can't.
not trying to trip people
We're not
up.
trying to,
yeah,
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 we're not
sure,
trying to
yeah,
do that.
yeah.
So how could we make this easier?
Okay. And see, I'm a terrible interviewee and a great board member, right? Cherie, great at both, you know?
Great interviewee.
Yeah.
On the board.
So, I mean, I get it.
Well practiced.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. No, I'm serious. I mean, so yeah, you never know.
Well, you
What
could
you're gonna
have been, I don't actually
Oh,
remember you being
100%
bad.
being very bad. And then you guys took a long time to choose to, it doesn't matter. We don't need to talk about this right now.
You're fantastic. so.
Okay. But I, yeah. And also the, I don't know, fairness is at play, but it does make
Mhm.
sense, right? If people are hearing people's answers, and that does make it also a very unique, strange.
Yes, it is a
situation.
unique
Yeah.
and strange situation for an interview.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because when I interviewed, I was last and I came down here at my time, but you
Mhm.
were behind.
That's what happened. To
Oh,
me. And so then
yeah.
I heard people's and I didn't want to.
And
You're
yeah,
like,
I
no, no, no,
yeah.
And I was like,
no.
okay.
Like it's too late. I've opened the door. I have to come in.
Because
All
all
these
these
people looked at me.
Enter a little bit.
And we have had, at least since the time that we interviewed, all of the times that we've interviewed we've had a lot of people apply. So
Mhm.
it'd be great if we had that this time too.
It was just nice when
Yeah.
everybody was out and one at a time. And,
Yeah.
Mhm.
you know. So I think they added stress of having everybody watch the one person doing it.
Oh, that's
You know,
awesome.
But I also I thought it was helpful. I don't know how we did it, but they were assigned a time, and then people actually just showed up for their,
Mhm.
you know.
And I did tell people, so I made sure I was very clear with people. Here is your time, and this is a public meeting. So if you want to show up for the beginning of this or any point of this, you're welcome to do that. And if you want to wait outside
Yeah.
the room until it's your time, then that's also that can also be done. And I also think that it kind of depends on the group, because if you have one person who's like, well, I'm going to stay in here the whole time, then you have other people who are like, well, maybe I should be staying in here the whole
Right.
time. But if you have a person who is like, oh no, I'm out of here, then the group also more likely follows that.
Totally.
So it just kind of depends on how all of that.
Who can we plant
We'll plant sure
to
too.
just get up and
And I would stick around because I love hearing people's answers to the question about the book. So
I'm always writing down notes of like, oh, it sounds like a really good book.
going back to the questions themselves, I really don't have issue with any of the questions, but I would love to have time to try to wordsmith question 5 on both of them. And if, I don't know.
That sounds
If
great.
others wanted to try it too, we could come back and like specifically workshop that one.
Mhm.
Can we, I would make a suggestion, can we just send you, Corey, all of our suggestions for that? And then you could just
Absolutely.
send them all back out, so that we can all see
Yes.
each other's.
Yes, I can do that.
What do you think? What do you think about question 5?
I can go either way. I'm not offended, and I know some people will, and I don't care. I think we've become a society that doesn't want to speak up because they're too afraid because of how it is, but it is what it is. So you gotta take little steps and do what you feel is right, and that's kind of one of them.
Should we move on? Great, thank you.
Sounds good. So send me your ideas for question number 5.
And our favorite task episode.
And you might hate it, and if you do, I'm sorry that I asked you to watch it.
You directed us.
Yeah, Corey
I
told
did.
me too.
I did.
watched a lot of garbage
When the
television.
girls hear it, I'll tell Hunter. Corey
It's
told
not
me to
hard
watch
to find it
it.
either.
Okay. Library resource of the month. Well, now I'm a little less sure that this is actually going to work because of my, yeah, it is maybe excitable. Oh my gosh.
Do you want to try and use my laptop? Plug it in? Oh, no.
Because
Like
it's
the
all
things.
of the things that are
So what is it? You
just,
can talk to us.
so what I was going to show you is something that you can also look up. So I was going to take you through the library's digital services page. So some of the things we've gone through, like Comics Plus, we went through last time. Libby, we've gone through before. Canopy, I think we've gone through before too. That's the movies that you have options of watching too. They have a lot of. Okay, I haven't gone through that one. So with you. So Canopy is a great resource for downloading movies as well. They have a page that's geared more toward children, and then they have one that's just an all ages one. They have a lot of documentaries that you're not able to find other places, foreign films,
They have the great courses too.
and the great courses as well. So they have just a lot of things that might not be in our library catalog for you to check out the physical item. And they do, because it's pretty well used and a kind of expensive resource that's purchased through our CCRLS consortium, you are limited to how many you could use, how many you can check out a month. So each item will have an assigned like 2 credits or 3 credits or something like that. So you can see how many credits you're spending. And you have, once you click on the item, you have usually like 48 hours or something like that to watch
Unless it's
it.
a series and then
Unless
they
it's a
can do
series.
longer.
Yes, thank you.
I like it.
Yeah, so that's a great resource. We also have ancestry.com, and that's a resource that a lot of people like as well. So it's just a way of, more resources for people. The ones that we have for school age kids are the same ones they have at their access to with their schools as well. So it's just kind of a nice redundancy for the public school kids and something different for the private school kids and the homeschool kids as well. So they have resources to curated information instead of just the great Google and believing whatever you get when you search on Google. So, which also means, if you're doing image searches on Google as a kid, like you really don't know what you're going to come up with, but instead you can go to a digital resource like this and the content's already been curated for you. So you have a reliable source, and you also know that you're not getting someone who's trying to prey on kids either. So that's a great way to help kids out that way too. So
Are there any numbers as far as Libby users in the Newburgh area?
yeah. So I'll bring you stats next time. How's that?
Cool.
Yeah. Specifically, what do you want to know?
Electronic versus actual paper books?
Oh yeah.
Physical?
So let's see. I've got the breakdown of stats. Yeah, I can tell you. So when I
I'm
have
just curious,
about,
like, is it 50/50?
oh no.
40/60?
So first of all, what's been really interesting to see with the ebooks and as well as the e-audiobooks is maybe 5 years ago, there were more checkouts of ebooks than there were e-audiobooks. And now those two things have swapped. And that's been really interesting. And I've always been such a big, e-audiobook reader. So that's been really interesting to see switch over. And I'm part of the Oregon board that kind of decides how we use Libby as a big consortium. And so we were able to, I asked some questions because that's what I was seeing in my statistics, and that is what everyone is seeing as well. And so we had kind of an outdated way of doing things, which is we put more money toward the ebooks than we did the e-audiobooks. So we were able to make that change and then make some changes so that on an ongoing basis, we're looking at the statistics and we're using that to reflect how we're purchasing items too, which is what we do for the Newburgh Library already, because basically what we're doing is we're purchasing the high holds list because we don't have a lot of money. So what we're trying to do is make it so that people aren't waiting for 4 months for a book. So, but if my checkout statistics for the physical items, and this is why, like, they're not necessarily broken down between, I mean, I've got the kids' books, but the playaways and the DVDs, which there's not a lot of DVDs to get checked out, but there's a lot of playaways and other things like that. So I have the physical materials will be somewhere around like 30,000, and then the e-materials would be about 6,000. So it's not a huge, like, it's definitely not 50-50 by any means, but it is growing. It continues to grow. So it's really interesting to watch those numbers too. So yeah, I'll bring you some numbers. I'll play around with it and have some fun. Let's see, other things on there. I think that covers the big ones as well. I mean, Libby obviously is the biggest one. It's our biggest expense and it's our most used resource as well. So
You can read lots of magazines. too.
and you can read
Yeah,
so
But
many
you don't have everything
magazines.
I want, but
Yeah.
you've got a lot.
Yeah,
That's pretty great.
yeah.
And those just stay there and they like, the new one comes. And I'm like, oh,
Yes.
yeah.
And it alerts you when the
Yeah.
new one is out. They're like,
great.
oh,
Mhm.
you haven't read this new one. Yeah.
Usually magazines, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of the really cool cooking magazines. I'm like,
Yes.
great. Now I can get some.
And it's,
Mhm.
I found it's best to do that, not on this.
Yes.
Yeah,
But on
I
that.
agree.
Yes.
With that.
If you actually want to read what's in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like see the picture.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Yeah. I have an iPad that I have an old iPad, and it was misbehaving the other day, and I was like,
No, I can't in my magazine.
Well, I really appreciate it because I was able to cancel my Audible subscription, which has fulfilled many
Nice.
good things in my heart.
Nice.
So it's not support.
Nice. I really enjoy, so I also don't have an Audible subscription anymore, but I do use Libby. Libro.
Yeah.
Libro.fm. And what I like about that one too, and I'll use that for, I will admit, sometimes the holds lists at the library are very long.
Mhm.
And the other day I was reading a book for book club that I was leading because Bobby was gone. And so I did purchase a book that way. But when you purchase a book on Libro FM, you get to decide which bookstore your sale is supporting. So I can change it to,
Cool.
I'm supporting Chapters, Books, and Coffee when I buy this audiobook. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's really
That's
delightful.
awesome.
It's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
Third
Yeah.
Street was
Third Street
giving out,
Books.
That's so
little
cool.
info things, and one of the guys took some time to explain it, and I was like,
Oh, that's so
giving my money
fun.
to people I care about.
Right.
Yes.
That's cool.
Instead
Yeah.
of those other people.
Yeah, instead of those other people.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
I really like that. I should have mentioned that Bobby is speaking at a national conference this week.
Oh,
So we're excited about that. Also, Bobby's going to be going to the Guadalajara Book Fair again this year. And I've been working with the school district working with the school district. I'm writing a grant. It's very last minute. I don't know if it'll get funded, but I'm writing a grant to get money so that we can send somebody from the Newburgh School District, a Spanish speaker, to go with Bobby and purchase Spanish materials together, because I know, wouldn't that be so great? And if we can't make it happen this year, we'll make it happen sometime in the future. But I do have a letter from Jillian Felice-Arta for, I've been working with her too on the support from the district to get a letter of support to write the grant. So, but the great thing about the Guadalajara Book Fair, first of all, it's the biggest Spanish language book fair in the world. But also a lot of our families in this area are from Mexico, but most of the books you can get from the big publishers are translated in Spain. And it's not the same. And so this way we can really dial into the kind of resources, the kind of Spanish that we're looking for, but also things like reader books and the things that are hard to find from some big publishers. We have so much access to at the Guadalajara Book Fair. And at this point, Bobby's been maybe 3 or 4 times. And so she knows her way around. She knows what she's doing. The first time she went with someone who also knew what they were doing. And so by bringing in somebody from the Newburgh School District this way, I think we can just,
You eliminate that whole.
Yeah. right? So
That's great.
I'll let you know if that happens, but I'm excited about that. All right. That's it. I don't have anything else.
We already went over our next meetings. We'll meet October 16th and then November 20th at 5 p.m. for interviews. Okay. Meeting adjourned.
Meeting adjourned at 7:25. Thank you.